We all know there's some downsides to social media, but one of the biggest pluses has got to be its ability to spread inspiration. Today, I want to share 10 people over 50 who are encouraging millions to get the most out of life for longer. Some I've had the privilege of interviewing on the channel, others I've watched and admired from afar. If you don't know me, I'm Clare Johnston, a journalist in my 50s focused on how to age well, look and feel good for longer. Find out more and keep up with all my latest content over on my website, honest.scot. And if I can just ask you to hit subscribe if you haven't already, it's completely free to do it, but it really helps us continue to bring you the best inspiration and information that we can. But now, let's meet the people helping to redefine how we age. First up is someone who has helped completely change the conversation around what's possible later in life. By aged 70, Joan MacDonald was living with high blood pressure, arthritis, acid reflux, and declining mobility. Troubled by what she saw, her daughter Michelle, who's a high-profile fitness coach, challenged Joan to change her lifestyle and start resistance training. Over the next few years, Joan completely transformed her health, losing over 70 pounds, improving her metabolic health markers, and eliminating her need for medication. Now, aged 80, she's a global fitness icon who lifts weights and inspires millions online by proving it's never too late to rebuild your body and restore your vitality. This next transformation story is one of the most powerful testaments to the idea that you can reinvent yourself at any stage in life. At 74, Renee Landers is a competitive bodybuilder with an unbelievable physique. So it's hard to believe that in her mid-50s, she faced debilitating chronic back pain that made even walking a struggle. Fearing she might end up in a wheelchair, she eventually underwent a lower lumbar fusion at age 58. This surgery, combined with hormone replacement therapy and finding a personal trainer at age 60, provided her with a second chance at life that she fully embraced. What started as a goal to simply feel strong and healthy evolved into a competitive bodybuilding journey. After years of hesitation, Renee finally stepped onto the stage for her first competition at age 69, wearing a sparkly bikini and proving to herself and others that age is just a number. Here she is telling me the key to thinking differently and aging like the champ she is.
I feel that we got to get the word out. And one of my little things I say is no old speak. Don't talk about your aches and pains. Don't engage with others about their aches and pains. You don't talk old. We talk, think young, be healthy. So no old speak. That's how I say it.
So if you want to watch my full interviews with Renee or any of the other inspiring people I'm talking about today who I've spoken to previously, you'll find them linked below in the description. Now, this next former guest went from couch potato to coach after he took a long, hard look in the mirror one day and decided to change the reflection. Jason Smith's story is a remarkable example of how a sedentary life and high-pressure job can slowly erode health and happiness, and how a single moment can change it. For years, Jason climbed the corporate ladder while leading a sedentary lifestyle, fueled by processed meals and regular alcohol consumption. By his late 40s, he felt exhausted and depressed, and medical tests eventually revealed he was facing high blood pressure, high cholesterol, a fatty liver, and the onset of type 2 diabetes. The turning point came when he saw an Instagram meme of the Lord of the Rings character Bilbo Baggins with the caption, "I'm going on an adventure." And that simple image resonated with him so much that he committed to change.
The photograph itself just, even though it's a small, brown, furry creature with big feet, but it was just that feeling. It was, I want that feeling. I want that feeling of joy, of energy, of motivation, of capability. That really is what instigated the change. The next day, I said, I'm not going to drink today, and basically just kept repeating that mantra day in, day out, and coming up to 7 years later now, I still do.
Fantastic. Jason began by cutting out alcohol and cleaning up his diet and starting a walking and running routine. Within months, he was off his medications and had transitioned into strength training. Today, Jason is a professional fitness coach who achieved the extraordinary feat of becoming a Men's Fitness magazine cover star at the age of 55. Next, we have a powerful champion of pro-aging and being all you can be for life. By his mid-50s, Nate Wilkins found himself overweight at 230 pounds, out of shape and facing a frightening health scare where he was experiencing chest pains and heart problems. Realizing he was at a crossroads, he chose to take action. His transformation began with small, consistent steps, starting with just 5 to 10 minutes of walking every day. And over a period of a couple of years or so, he incorporated resistance training, cleaned up his diet, again cutting out alcohol and sugar, and prioritized hydration and sleep. And when I interviewed him last year, he described himself as 71 years young and in the best shape of his life.
I always tell people that I'm 71 years young. There's a difference between 71 years old and 71 years young. And I'm not saying that I'm young because of my body, but what I'm saying to you is that this ability to move and to do the things that I do at this age, to prepare for my future self, is why I call myself 71 years young.
So Nate has now transformed into a healthy aging ambassador and fitness coach dedicated to helping others discover the life-changing benefits of staying active and building muscle.
So that's the difference between a 71-year-old who is inactive or who is waiting for death to come and get him, because it's coming. And here's the one that's saying, if you're going to get me, you better come, because I'm moving. I think of the two, and I would always choose the one that allows me to have the flexibility, the mobility, agility to take care of me the way I want to take care of me. And it's not all about necessarily aesthetics. While we want to look good, what it's really about is having vitality and being able to enjoy life the way you want to.
Next, we have an example of someone undaunted by challenge in her later years as she strives to show herself as much as anyone what is possible in your 70s. But it wasn't always that way. By her mid-40s, Ginny McColl was diagnosed with osteopenia. That's the precursor to osteoporosis. Her doctor told her she couldn't reverse it, only manage it. Realizing she wanted a different outcome, she eventually chose to take action after being inspired by her daughter's strength. Ginny's transformation began with a single, clear goal: to complete just one full pull-up. At the time, she'd never even been in a gym. Over a period of about a year, she worked with a trainer to build the necessary upper body strength. And not only did she achieve that first pull-up at age 64, but a follow-up bone density test showed her osteopenia had dramatically reversed. And after seeing her daughter compete in the American Ninja Warrior TV show, Ginny decided to try the obstacles herself, discovering a passion for the sport that eventually led her to compete on the show at age 71.
And look at this! Ginny McCall's gonna do it! Keep going, keep going!
She now holds the Guinness World Record as the oldest female ninja competitor. And when I interviewed her last summer, then age 73, she had a simple formula for aging well: keep going and keep chasing that new goal.
It was competing that kept me in the game. So at 71 and 9 months, I think they said I was the oldest female competitor in the world.
Fantastic.
In the world.
That's really something.
Yeah, so that was it came from getting old and just not stopping, just getting up, just showing up and continually doing it at my pace. You know, I climb ropes a lot, but the first time I was doing it, I may have gotten up to about, I don't know, maybe 35 feet. I have a harness, and my daughter was filming it, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to come down on the harness, and she was doing, do one more, and I'm thinking, oh, I didn't make it to 40 feet. Okay, so I climbed a couple more, and I stopped, and I said, okay, I'm ready to go down. She goes, do one more, and I'm like, I haven't made it to 40. Well, I have to make it to 40. So I took a couple more, and then I said, that's it. And I came down, and I said, Jessie, why did you keep telling me to do one more? And she said, because that's when you get your greatest strength. So it's same thing with a pull-up. If you go, and you just drop, why don't you just hold that moment? And my arms will be shaking, and just hold it a bit longer. That's when you're getting your strongest. So I always tell people, just do one more. You know, I do feel that this is the very best time of my life.
My next most inspiring person over 50 is another McCall, one very well known to people here in the UK and who I would love to interview. She's famous here for presenting huge TV shows like Big Brother and The Masked Singer, but in recent years she's also become one of the most influential voices for women's health and aging on social media. She's also possibly the most enthusiastic person on the planet, and I absolutely love her for it. Having overcome heroin and alcohol addiction in her 20s, by her mid-50s, Davina became a leading advocate for menopause awareness. Now aged 58, her contribution to the pro-aging movement is defined by her openness and honesty and her determination to be a positive role model, all clear to see in her popular podcast show, Begin Again. And whether she's discussing the physical challenges of perimenopause or the mental resilience required to start anew in later life, Davina champions the idea that midlife is not a time of fading away, but a vibrant second spring. Her resilience shone through again recently when she underwent surgery to remove a benign brain tumour, an experience she used to reinforce her philosophy of living life to the fullest, encouraging her audience to never take their health or their time for granted. And here she is with presenter Fern Cotton on the Happy Place podcast, describing what motivates her to make the second half of life shine for the generations behind her.
A gift. There's got to be a gift with aging, because otherwise it could feel like a loss. But aging is a loss of one thing, but you gain so much more in another way. I saw a girl earlier. I said, "You look amazing." She's like, "No, I think it's inappropriate. I'm 40. I shouldn't really be wearing." And I was like, sweating my arse off. I literally don't care.
No.
The more inappropriately someone dresses, the older they are, the more I love them.
Yeah, same.
I was thinking, I need women 60, 70, 80, my elder stateswomen, I need you to be outlandish. I need people out there shining the light for me so that life, as I get older, looks like it's going to be exciting.
Yes,
and that's what I want to do for you. You know, I want you to look at me and go, oh my God, being in my 50s, late 50s is going to be great.
Yeah.
Now, Mel Robbins may not be known as a longevity expert, but through her books and her content, she may have helped more midlife women regain confidence than almost anyone else. At 57, her message is incredibly liberating. It's stop waiting, stop overthinking, and start acting. From her 5-second rule, where we count to 5 and then just get up and do the thing we need to do and stop procrastinating, to more recently her let them approach to life, where rather than getting upset about other people's decisions or opinions about us, we let it go and focus on our behaviours and actions instead. And she has given us some really simple tools to start living bigger and better. This little reel is a couple of years old now, but I just love the sentiment behind it. Our age doesn't define us, our energy does.
Hey, it's Mel. And the other day somebody came up to me and they were like, "Are you really 55, Mel?" Yep, I am. The secret, whether you're 25 or you're 55 or 75 or 15, is to not act your age. Act your energy. When you are generous and enthusiastic and excited and curious and kind as a person, you emit this confident life force energy that defies age. So stop focusing on how old or young you are and start focusing on the energy that you want to emit and bring to your daily life. Because when you focus on your life force energy and you act your energy, you will defy your age.
Now, I couldn't do this episode and not mention the two people who have probably given me and a lot of others some major inspiration around how it's possible to transform in later life. They are my own parents. Anyone who's watched our Rebuilding Mum and Dad series will remember my mum could barely walk unsupported for more than 30 seconds a year and a half ago. She had lost her confidence, she'd become physically weaker, and like many people in their 80s, both my parents believed decline was just inevitable. Fast forward 18 months, and my mum was recently on a holiday in Spain, walking around the shopping malls using just a stick for support instead of her upright walker. Her back pain has dramatically improved. the bone density in her spine has increased, she's lifting weights she never imagined possible, and my dad has built exceptional strength for his age and really has impressive function and pace for a man of 82. Together they've shown millions of people that aging isn't something we simply have to surrender, it's something we can influence every single week.
I don't think about aging anymore. I think about how I'm going to be improving.
Finally, this last inspiring individual is a little bit of a cheat because she's not quite 50 yet, but she's just months away. I first saw Bozoma Saint John on the reality show The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It is my guilty pleasure. And she has very quickly emerged as a real beacon of light on the show and social media, and an example of what it means to be mentally and physically strong as we age. She's had an extraordinary career heading up marketing for some huge companies like PepsiCo and Netflix, but she's also shown vulnerability, speaking about her grief after losing her husband, finding new love and trying for a baby later in life. And she aims to shatter misconceptions about what midlife looks like through her motivational workout posts. Boz is also very strong on the power of our presence and how we affect the energy of the room or a meeting the moment we enter and leave. So we want to make sure we bring the right energy. And here she is in a clip she shared on her Instagram page about how she wants to live not just a length of life, but a width of life.
I don't want to get to the end of my life and just have lived the length of it. I want to have lived the width of it. And I think that's just a powerful way to look at life, that I am urgent about it, not because I want to live it fast, but because I want to get everything out of it. You know, in today, I want to live in a way that makes me feel satisfied with it. So that should I go at a time that feels untimely, or when I am 106, that I will look at my life and feel that I lived it urgently because I did the things I wanted to do at the time that it was available to do it. And that's what I wish for all of us, for everyone, that we live our life with urgency and that we're satisfied.
So those are the people that came to mind for me when I thought about who has inspired me most through their content and approach to aging and life in general. I know there are many more out there, and though they're different ages, they have different careers, different personalities, different journeys, they all share one belief, that growing older doesn't mean becoming less, it means continuing to grow. So now I would love to know, who inspires you? If there's someone over 50 who's changed the way you think about aging, let me know in the comments, because I have a feeling there are still many more inspiring stories waiting to be told. Over on my website, you'll find practical guidance for rebuilding your body at honest.scot/rebuild, and inspiration for rebuilding your spirit at honest.scot/the-well. You can also scroll to the bottom of any page on my website to sign up for my monthly newsletter, where I share all my latest episodes, healthy aging insights and resources, so you never miss out. And if you'd like even more healthy aging content, behind the scenes updates and regular vlogs, you can join the channel as a member using the link below. But for now, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.